Hey, what's up guys, my name is Stefan and today I'll be producing for singer, songwriter and producer Masego, plus a bonus beat for another artist later on in the video. As always, you can find links to all of the instruments and sounds used in the video, as well as additional resources you may find useful down in the description below. Today we're going to be using Tracklib to source a sample and inspire our production. Tracklib is an online record store with a growing catalogue of over 80,000 original songs and multi-tracks that we can legally sample through its simple and affordable sample clearance system. So today I'm looking for a sample that's interesting but not too intricate. I want to add uniqueness and interest to the beat, but I also want the freedom over the chords I choose. So with that in mind, I'm going to look for tracks with multi-tracks. This will allow me to pick a single element of a track, affording me more creative freedom with my sample.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
That sounds dope. Frank Dukes is a Grammy Award-winning producer, you probably know, who has been sampled a ton, and his records are here on Tracklib. Let's see what other tracks we have from him. They all seem to be multi-tracks, so it's exactly what I'm looking for. Oh snap, I actually can't believe it. Masego actually sampled this very track on Lavish Lullaby, or whoever produced the record. It sounds pretty much as is. It's just a bit slower on the Masego record. You'll find that with R&B, that samples are not really chopped and flipped as much as in hip hop. In R&B, you're often building around the sample as is. I think one artist who kind of took a hip-hop approach to sampling within their music was A. Marie, or Rich Harrison, who produced her music. But you don't really get that often in R&B, or at least mainstream R&B these days. Okay, this is exactly what I'm looking for. Dope. So I've just jumped into the multi-track and there's 4 different parts to this track. There's even a reverb track. So we've got options, but I really like the way the master sounds, so let's download that. Bring it into Logic, loop the section we want, roll off some of that low end, and speed up the sample. Okay, so now we have our sample, and you can hear that it's looping the same few notes, which means we have a lot of freedom in terms of what we play over the top, especially with our chords, which can sometimes be a little tricky when working with intricate samples. I find the best way to write chord progressions is by writing the bass line first, especially when working with a sample or loop. The bass notes will quickly tell you what works and what doesn't, before even having to play a chord. Okay, so just to let you know, this track will be heavily inspired by Masego's new track with Devon Morrison, Yams. It has this old school mint condition vibe. To be honest, it actually sounds heavily inspired by gospel singer and musician Fred Hammond with his record I Want My Destiny. A lot of R&B cats grew up in church, so I wouldn't be surprised. It's the exact same groove. And speaking of groove, you will have noticed that I laid down a basic drum pattern, and that was just to help with the groove whilst recording. It's definitely not the finished product. So now we have our bass line. It then simply becomes a matter of whether the corresponding chord to each bass note is major, minor, dominant, diminished, or augmented. So let's throw down some chords. So if you saw my last video, you would have seen that I found this dope Talkbox sound, and I think I want to use it to freestyle something over the top of this beat. that's a vibe. The groove needs work. The groove definitely needs work. It needs some percussion as well, hi-hats, and I think some strings would do well in here too. But I think I will leave it here for now, as I want to try out another sample from Tracklib. Cool, so for my second track, I want to produce for R&B group Division. Or is it DVSN? Who knows? Comment below if you do. But for this track, I want to sample a 90s R&B style track with vocals. So I'm here using Tracklib's filter to narrow down our search. Cool, so this is definitely the vibe I'm looking for. So let's download it and pull it into Logic. This time I'm going to pitch it up. But once again, I'll apply a high pass and low pass filter so we can add our own bass line and other elements. I love the harmony on I'm in Love Again. That is quintessential 90s R&B. And a harmony you definitely hear on Division's latest album with Ty Dolla $ign. In fact, I like it so much, I think for the verses, I'm going to just use that one phrase. There was no multi-track for this one, but using software I can easily isolate the vocal. It's not the cleanest by any stretch of the imagination, but samples off of Instagram are making it into records these days, so I'm gonna do it. And once again, I'm starting with bass. Then broken chords, then a response to my broken chords with a simple motif. And that's the track, which I think sounds okay. But I know many of you watching will be able to use Tracklib and create music far, far better. So with that in mind, I've partnered with Tracklib to offer you a 30-day free subscription plus 15 download credits. Double the normal free trial length and double the credits. 15 credits means you can download 15 tracks to sample. And you can grab this special offer via the link down in the description below. When you use my link, you will be asked to enter card information, but you will not be charged until day 31. And you can cancel anytime before or after said day. If you have any questions about Tracklib, be sure to ask me down in the comment section below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to let me know by, giving it a thumbs up and maybe subscribing for more music production videos just like this. I've been Stefan, and as always, happy beat making.